Python doesn't get enough hate. Let's dig into it. This is the night of the pigeon wrath. I began to reply, and then I realised this is exactly what my channel is covering lately. Python, C++, when to use which, how they work, how best to make production quality code. So this was a very interesting tweet. Let's copy it, break up the text a bit. Okay, that should do it. Okay, so on Linux there's a few programs for making speech.
I don't think Python gets enough hate as a language respective to its actual...
What's the other one called? Pico to Wave.
I don't think Python gets enough hate as a language respective to its actual good use cases.
Okay, let's doing everything off screen. Let's get up set up then. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll get rid of that. So let's imagine this red box here is the phone, the user's phone. You're gonna try and make it fit, and then you can slightly up. And then Ubuntu's doing its thing. All the people with tiled window managers are laughing at me right now. And I've got to try and speak to the camera without putting my head too much over the text, which is basically impossible because I've got a big head. Let's get a bit smaller. I've got this. I replied with tweets, but then I decided to tidy it up a little bit because I tweeted from my phone and I was just wandering about the world. Ideally, the script should be on the left because the camera's on the left. So again, I'm not in the box. It's maybe even better if I stand. Let's play what it's saying.
I don't think Python gets enough hate as a language respective to its actual good use cases. Rust gets enormous hate despite being a fairly ubiquitously good idea. JavaScript gets immeasurable hate despite being incredible in its space. Go gets a ton of hate for its error handling despite running like a daemon. But Python is used ubiquitously for basically everything, even though it's not really suited to a lot despite almost never being the best option for anything and gets just no hate at all. Why is this?
Python's real advantage isn't raw performance. It's that the interpreter absorbs huge amounts of complexity on your behalf. In C... I'm such a shouter. I kind of learned to whisper somehow. Python's real advantage. I've never used a script before. I don't know how to read it. I'm terrible at reading scripts. It's a skill I'm going to have to learn, so bear with me. Yeah, I just want to do it off the cuff and hope to save in editings, but it's very jerky, so very Max Headroom looking.
Well, these rock things are all very well if you like them, but, you know, no ordinary people like you and, well, ordinary people like you oughtn't to be afraid to speak up for classical music.
So I need to try to think about what I'm saying beforehand and try to write a script and try to read a script. There are teleprompter softwares, but this is enough to fit in one screen, so let's just use this. Python's real advantage isn't raw performance, it's that the interpreter absorbs huge amounts of complexity on your behalf. In C or C++, even if you follow the manual perfectly, use only the big dependencies and your program can... I'm still shouting. Hey, we're in a cafe. Hey, how you doing? I'm good. Hey, hey, hey. Hello. Hi. Well, that's cool, baby.
Well, that's cool, baby. I mean, you know how it is, rocking and rolling and whatnot.
Danny?
Python's real advantage. I think I just start as quiet as possible. That's the best way. Python. Python's real advantage. Python's real advantage. Hey, how you doing? Python's real advantage isn't raw performance. It's that the interpreter absorbs huge amounts of complexity on your behalf. In C or C++, even if you follow the manual perfectly, use only the big dependencies, and your program compiles, you can still create enormous space of possible runtime failures. Memory corruption, dangling pointers, ownership bugs, ABI issues, data races, allocator weirdness, implicit compiler added branches and other forms of undefined behavior. So even if the source code seems perfect, you always have to ask, what the heck have we built? Can we trust it? That's why serious C++ projects end up with sanitizers such as USAN, UBSAN, Valgrind. They have fuzzers, static analyzers, and mountains of testing. I'm going to be covering these in my channel at a level that anyone can understand, even us Python using software engineers. Rust removes one level of complexity with ownership and borrow checking. Python does that too with garbage collection, but Python also removes another 8 levels of complexity: bounds checks, exceptions, object lifetimes, portable bytecode execution, reflection, dynamic dispatch, massive standard library, consistent runtime semantics. You're no longer building a native binary from loosely constrained machine level components. You're orchestrating behavior inside a heavily managed environment. That's why Python became ubiquitous, not because it's best at everything, but because it dramatically lowers the cognitive load of building software, significantly quicker and thus cheaper to develop and deploy production quality software. Python feels lightweight, flexible and Unix friendly, and coherent as a general purpose high-level language. If you want to know more about how Python works and how C++ works, please visit my channel, Night of the Pigeon Wrath. How was that? Let's have a look if we manage to record anything. Python's real advantage isn't raw performance. Python does that too with garbage collection, but Python also removes enough. I should have maybe increased the size of me to cover the full screen when I started speaking back. I mean, it's just a waste of space, the whole half. I don't know if I can put some fun looking things. Or is it just really distracting if I put loads of images and stuff there? But Python's real advantage isn't raw performance. It's that the interpreter absorbs huge amounts of complexity on your behalf. Okay, it's going to fit within 2.5 minutes, so that's good. But it is very dry and very small. Get a haircut. We need to, either use the full frame somehow, because there's like half the phone is doing nothing. They've already read that. So now this is Kdenlive. So I'm doing the whole recording and editing in Linux on principle. I don't know how to use this thing.
Welcome aboard the Knight 2000. Thank you. What's all this? Looks like Darth Vader's bathroom.
Alright, software, I don't know how to use it. So this is the recordings I made. So I made those in OBS, and then this is Kdenlive, which is the editing software. There's a huge gap in there before anything happens. Let's cut that out. Get rid of all the dead air we can get rid of before we start cutting this down. Channel, Night of the Pigeon Wrath. That's probably enough. 2 seconds is enough. Let's try that. Just 2 seconds. Night of the Pigeon Wrath. Okay, so we need to render it again. So we finished rendering that again. We get out of there. Back to the beginning. Goes back to the beginning. Then we need to run the script. Yes, please. I want to learn more FFmpeg and just do the whole thing on command line. Wouldn't it be cool just to edit the whole video on the command line and not use a GUI at all? Okay, it's getting pretty close to the end. There we go. So what are we getting up with? Python doesn't get enough hate. Let's dig into it.
I don't think Python gets enough hate as a language.
Okay, the title doesn't really matter anyway. Okay, playlists, Python, schedule, let's do it on Monday. Checks complete, no issues found. And there it is on YouTube. Python doesn't get enough hate. Let's dig into it. This purple line here is a bit unfortunate. I could fix this.
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him. We have the technology.
I've got this red line on the left side. It's probably not the FFmpeg. It's probably me in OBS. I've accidentally moved the ruler. Again, I could tell FFmpeg to cut that. And I could probably get him to cut the whole thing and then expand it. So you could probably cut off this line, and then expand it slightly so it fills the right size. Forms of undefined. Okay, so we're gonna zoom in a little bit. I don't have a very sophisticated thing. I'm just gonna use a pen. I have a bright red pen like a teacher. Pixel size 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exactly what I'm doing. Trim off the excess pixels and then scale it back up to the right short size. So much I need to learn not to stuff it up while recording it. Python doesn't get enough hate. Let's dig into it. So there we go. That's the short. That's what I've got. Hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes look at it. Obviously, I'm a new YouTuber. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a software developer. I have no acting ability, performance ability, presenting ability whatsoever. But we are trying to learn. We are trying to come out of our comfort zone. We are trying to learn new skills. So watch a video if YouTube puts one over there. And have a good day. Go code something.